enemy, generally what that's going to do is speed you up and let you go a little further. Oh, and they are off, by the way.
Well, they are off. A little bit off sync here, but I'm sure our parents at Speed Gaming will help sync them up.
Could come down to just being a couple seconds apart in the end.
Right there we see Jackie and Pichi both getting the double extendo, which is rolling through all those enemies while strategically pressing Y and letting go of it so you're not picking up the barrels. Yeah. Oh, Pichi almost falling down there in that pit. That's awkward.
Yeah, in this game, it can look scary sometimes. If you start your rolls in a horizontal pit, your roll has enough of a straightforward momentum at the beginning of the ledge to cross a gap entirely. You can see that a lot in especially DKC 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are any major gap rolls in DKC 3. What we just saw there, getting shot out of the cliff there, was one of the 2 instances of a bonus warp that we'll see them attempt. The other one will be way later on in World 5. Probably about 20-ish minutes from now. Depending on how their run goes.
So this cave level's one of the first sort of hard levels, especially trying to get it really smooth. All these corners, easy to bonk on. Yeah, I saw Jackie have a little bonk there. Took the roll too far. You got to balance the length of your rolls with when is the perfect time to jump out of them to keep your corners tight.
Alright, looks like we're synced up now.
Okay, so Jackie in the lead.
Just by a little bit, a second and a half. The water levels in this game, it's very easy to lose time due to pretty much suboptimal movement. You really want to cut your corners as close as you can without bonking. They could lose anywhere from frames up to whole seconds. So optimizing these water levels is definitely really hard.
A big part of it too is the surface of the wall there doesn't have a hitbox exactly where the image would indicate. So you have to figure out exactly where each corner actually is so that you can take it tight.
Both runners getting shark skip, I believe. Which means this is the run.
Occasionally they're trying to intentionally start their little fish dash on a corner because because of the hitbox, it slides along the corner for extra distance and it's faster.
Yeah, it boosts you forward just a little bit. Actually, I believe it helps you scale the corner quicker because it sort of pushes you.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah, you take it at a diagonal instead of up and right. Take the hypotenuse.
Thanks, Pythagoras. So this level's very annoying to mess up, or else you're going to have to go through all that barrel maze, and it takes way too long. So good that both runners were able to get the skips up off the level.
So this boss is not very hard, but you can make it hard by insisting on hitting him the instant he becomes vulnerable. If you're just a little bit too early, you may take damage, depending on how you bounce off of him, because he'll be invulnerable.
That's 2 really solid times. Our runners here.
Now you'll see a big gap roll here. Roll all the way across that. Those platforms, like, neither of them are really higher or lower than the other, so the only way you're able to cross that is by covering the whole distance with like directly horizontal momentum. And to do that, you need to do one of those extendo rolls that we mentioned earlier. Again, basically releasing Y as you roll through an enemy to store the extra rolling distance you get by rolling through enemies until later in your initial roll.
Both players successfully skipping the minecart, because why would you ever play with the minecart in this level? The developer intended warp in the bottom left corner. So this is the first level of the game where the difficulty really starts to ramp up in Bouncy Bonanza. There's a lot of really really optimal tech going on here in between, you know, crawl space zips and dodging bees and rolling on tires. It's not fun for a new runner. It's very unintuitive as well. But,
doesn't help how dark it is. I would imagine someone with red-green color blindness would have trouble seeing those bees at all during those tight crawl spaces.
Both of them making it look pretty easy so far. Jackie's still keeping that 1.5 2 second lead. The gimmick with this level is usually you would have to click the barrels in order to get them to stop the zombies, but we're not going to deal with any of that. We're just going to go right back in where we came from and get warped to the end. And here in Millstone, we're going to see the first instance of a super jump, where we're going to take damage in a strategic way so that Donkey or your other Kong is going to fly up to the top of the screen, which is going to store your super jump. Take damage, hold the B button, and you can just jump off an enemy and get thrown up into the heavens. We'll see it again later in probably Forest Frenzy if they both go for it, or we might see the super jump roll.
It's interesting to note that 3 out of the 5 levels in World 2 there had a warp of some kind that takes you to the end of the level, making this, I believe, the shortest split in the game, unless you count K-Roll.
Yeah, usually you want, what, sub 3? For a World 2 split.
Like that.
Looks like Pichi took damage there.
It's just gonna World 1.
Oh yeah.
Going into World 3 now, though. There's still going to be quite a few skips. 3 if you include something we'll see in the 4th level of the world. But there you go. You see Jackie taking the first skip, as is Pichi skipping most of this level. Although the little amount of it that you play can be a little tricky sometimes to not take damage in.
Oh yeah, there's birds everywhere.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see.
I got another really short level with warp exploit off screen.
The funny thing is, we used to always all do a method of movement there that was way more dangerous on the tire that we thought was faster because it was hard, but it all along was slower. I believe Fatho may have been the one to figure out it isn't. So something interesting is going on here. They're about to try another super jump, but they were going for a special kind of super jump that hopefully you'll see here on Pichi's screen. He did not get it. Doesn't seem like he even went for it.
No, I don't think he went for it, although he kept the other Creme alive, which was curious.
He's probably just used to the setup, but yeah, the way he didn't go left at all after he touched the Kremling and started super jumping, which if you're going for it, you would always go left immediately, even if you miss it, basically. So both of these guys not really gaining or losing any time versus each other in this level, which is always good to see. Jackie lost a little time there. He seems to have not been ready to hold right as he rolled from that top platform, but minor. We might see an interesting new trick here. Doesn't look like we'll be seeing it from Jackie. Based on whether or not they grab the DK barrel. Yeah, Pichi, neither. Never mind. We'll be seeing some interesting new trick in this level, though, and in some of the other races of the tournament, I believe. So stay tuned. This level is very difficult, though, platforming-wise.
Both of them skipping the ropes with extendos pretty easily. And there's a giant double extendo right about where Jackie is.
So I'll try and explain it a little better. Like, the game's programmed so that when you roll through an enemy, it's programmed to say, okay, your roll is now going to be longer and faster. What happens when you do an extendo is by releasing Y as you roll through the enemy, you get the game to not really apply that extra state until you press Y again. So what you're doing is you're telling the roll to, starting here, instead of where the enemy is, start rolling as though you just rolled through an enemy, which is faster and longer. So this long story short, that means you are extending your roll much further than you normally could.
Pichi making up time on Jackie there through the map warp exploit. Jackie got it on his 3rd try, Pichi got it on his 2nd try, making up a little time there. Basically, when you're in World 1 and you're on a corner, and you're a solo Kong, you can press one of the face buttons on a frame-perfect position, and it'll warp you to certain spots in certain levels. Like in, I believe 3 of the 4 corners will warp you to Orangutan Gang in World 1, and the other one to Bouncy. I could be wrong, though. I don't remember if it's Bouncy or Reptile. I'm pretty sure it's Bouncy. Depending on what version you have. I'm sure someone in chat will correct me. Stu's good at that.
I actually find the movement these players are doing through this particular level to be pretty mesmerizing, actually. It's hard to pick up on unless you run the game yourself, but the timing they're doing for these fish lunges is really good, really optimal.
And you'd think that maybe you'd get the best optimal fish lunges if you just mash the controller, but it's actually a lot easier, I find anyway, to if you time your inputs. You get much more better execution, I think, as opposed to just mashing and mashing and mashing. So the B boss fight here is based on cycles and he's scripted. So, sorry, she's based on cycles. She's scripted. As long as you're in the same spot all the time, she's going to be in the exact same spot, and you can just slam a barrel into her face. So Pichi making up that little bit of a deficit just by map warp alone. It's
Wondering now, the ice physics in this game pretty much prevent rolls from saving you any time in most cases, unless you're rolling through an enemy or doing an extendo. Jackie took damage to one extendo attempt there, and that is going to perhaps make a bigger difference than you would think.
Yeah,
look how much ahead Pichi suddenly is. He's got several seconds lead, and Jackie still needs to get a DK barrel and switch back to Diddy. Yep, this is a huge difference now. Jackie's, yep, it can be very difficult also to swap Kongs back to Diddy on these ice ledges. The game is very strange about when it allows you to do Kong swaps.
Yeah, the axis of the Earth has to be very specific in order for you to successfully swap your Kong at any level. In all 3 games, I find, if you're anywhere close to a ledge, or on a diagonal or a slope, don't even think about swapping. If you're looking at a slope and you're on a flat ground, don't even think about swapping. Like, this game is very particular. Both of them look like they're getting the out of bounds glitch in order to get to that barrel. You can make that barrel as Donkey also if you just jump, because his hitbox is so big. Pichi finishing there, rolling into Bird.
And, pretty nasty looking ropes over on Jackie's side. That's perhaps nerves.
Yeah, the ropes are tricky to get used to, especially in that level, because they're pulling you downwards and you can't really help it. So this level is very instrumental that you keep the bird, and even avoid halfway, because there are some instances where if you die, it's much faster to just start the level over again and try it with the bird. Otherwise, you gotta wait for all these ropes and barrel cycles. It takes way too long. So that's why they're intentionally missing the midway barrel here.
It's kind of fun to compare where they are based on the weather.
Yeah. Thought of that, actually.
Entering the longest level in the game. It's just a series of trying to see those corner hitboxes and cut them really tight. Making sure that you have upward and downward momentum before you go across the corner, rather than once you get to it.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to keep your momentum than it is to start it from zero.
Yeah.
If you bonk one of those corners, well, you best believe your momentum's going down to zero. Well, not zero, but it slows down significantly.
Yeah,
like
so
I said,
it's better to prioritize not hitting corners than getting them tight, but they both do matter.
Yeah, if you're starting out, it's advised to just try to avoid bonking as much as you can, as opposed to just
get
trying to
used
cut the
that.
corners.
That alone will make you more accurate.
There are visual cues that the runners use to know when they can start moving towards the direction of the corner and clear it.
It's usually like a coral that's like a lighter blue color along the wall. It's like it looks like a double coral just sticking out. So right now on Pichi's screen, probably won't sync up.
Once you identify them, then it's pretty easy. There's one of the ways that we use to identify whether or not this was a good IL, aside from just how well we cut the corners, was identifying where we are in the song of aquatic ambience.
Really useful.
Yeah, you're always going to hear a piano about halfway through the level, but you're trying to avoid hearing that second round of pianos near the end of it. We call that pianoless. It's usually an indication of a very good croctopus chase.
I mean, you aren't wrong about the crocodile part, because it's called a croctopus. Clearly, the developers intended for these octopi to be crocodiles as well.
Yeah.
So exiting this level now, yeah, you got a piano there, but that's to be expected. Exiting that level, we are now entering the dangerous territory. The next 3 levels, excluding the next boss, are all full of pits. They're really easy to fall into, as well as difficult to dodge things like the oil lanterns there.
Yeah, Torchlight Trouble is, if Bouncy Bonanza is where it shifts into second gear, then this is where the game goes all the way to 5th. This is a very, very tricky level. And we do it in the dark too. You're meant to take Squawks the Parrot at the beginning, but he causes random frames of lag, so it's hard to play the level smoothly and cleanly like we're seeing Jackie and Pichi do while he's on screen.
Quite a few pits you need to memorize.
Pichi not even going for RBR.
Yeah, neither of them. So
wow.
They're both going for safe and consistent strats. I don't think Pichi will be going for Krumtut anymore, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, here you go. Here's another level full of pits that are very easy to fall into. Combine that with tire rolling, and this may be considered the hardest level in the game to this point.
I would definitely put it up there. Top 3, top 4 for sure.
Doing a little camera manipulation to get those tires on platforms in the right position to just keep holding right. Sacrifice a little time turning left to get that extra speed. Pichi losing it probably 2 seconds there by taking damage.
Coming on to second beaver fight.
But it is now close. Do you think Pichi will be employing dots and snakes during this race?
Well, judging by the fact that he just skipped a cycle, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he's going to be going for it.
That. It might actually be the right move. To think of it.
Yeah.
So what he just did is he removed the chance of possibly saving about 20 seconds in this next level, but he also, by doing that, he was able to save back, I don't know how many, but certainly quite a few seconds, not having to swap, and saving a cycle to the beaver boss.
So actually DNA timed it, and I was there when he timed it, and it's only about a second, maybe 2. That cycles skips.
Like
yeah.
5.
Yeah,
he just lost a lot of time then, but only like an opportunity cost kind of time lost. Looks like Jackie did not get the trick that could have made that make a difference, but
I think the gamble definitely paid off.
Still even, relatively even. Probably a good 10 seconds between them.
It was a good gamble by Pichi. That's what we meant, or what Canis meant, I guess, by the veteran savvy. And knowing...
Something very similar, though. But yeah, things will get most interesting, and towards the closer we get to the end, because that's when I think really confidence plays a big role. And I certainly know Pichi's very confident that he probably go deathless at least. We shall see. Neither of them going for the snake.
I guess these guys don't like dots.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It really is.
Playing safe. I don't think Stu would be playing this safe. But Stu's crazy.
Stu was doing frenzy and pools, so I mean,
so
not that.
Again, doing more camera manipulation. This level platforms to be in the right spot, so sometimes you have to change your movement to get them to spawn. Facing left on purpose here to spawn this platform later, which then gives you opportunity to squeeze below that platform just in time. Go under the Kaizo bird.
Yeah, that bird is definitely a Kaizo bird. I've lost many a ditty to that bird. And a donkey too. So here's the final water level in the game. This Poison Pond. It's kind of hard to see sometimes with all the mist, but this is definitely the hardest water level. The only reason I call it one of the hardest over, well, I don't know, it's tough to say. I would say Clam might be harder only because there's only one fish in there and it's a lot easier to lose your fish and not get him back.
Hit boxes in that level that are really hard to not take damage on.
Yeah. Both clipping mincers. I don't know what Jackie's doing. He's taking a tour. 2, 3, good job.
Clean. So what is the poison there? Actually, I should probably focus on what's about to happen here. There's a trick there. Pichi did not take damage by accident. He was able to now begin rolling in midair and getting a jump roll shoutouts.
The dank spin, the comfy cozy roll.
The dank spin.
Jackie as well. Well, we've officially seen our first frames in the game.
I find it interesting that they would go for that and not some of the other things they opted out of.
This is definitely one of the more dangerous jump rolls too.
But getting it is also really helpful in that it gives you a second to kind of chill.
It does, yeah.
Otherwise, with that rolling, it can be a little sketchy sometimes. You'll drop an input if you're too close to the edge of the camera or something.
So the way that rolling in the air glitch works is that the game recognizes that you're technically on the ground while you're rolling in the air, so it's letting you do that. But the second it sees a platform, the glitch is nullified. So you really need to make sure of your surroundings before you try to roll too far.
Dude, what's going on, man? Like, every once in a while, like, it's just a monkey and bananas on screen. It's very confusing.
Yeah, one of the gimmicks in this game is that they think it's funny if they just turn the lights on and off. I don't think that's funny at all.
Yeah, I think it's a really bad idea.
It's worse than wind.
But at the same time, this is one of my favorite levels. I think it's because of how annoying it is. To master it, it feels good.
Yeah, it's a lot harder, I think, than these runners are making it look. There's a script to it, and as long as your movement is exactly the same, you can just know exactly where everything is.
The thing is, the movement in nowhere is really any harder than something like World 1 or 2. It's just your stakes are so much higher at that point because you could die and lose like 40 seconds.
Yeah, you really need to trust the setups, and that's not an easy thing to do, especially with these games. So this boss is one of the more straightforward ones. He's just gonna spit enemies at you, slam his butt in the ground. At some point you're gonna want to swap to Donkey, because he can kill the last 2 enemies much faster, and you can get off as many slap slides as you can. Which Pichi is definitely taking advantage of.
Yeah, they're both trying. Alright, so coming up is the most important level in the game. There's 2 opportunities for a frame perfect trick. It saves more time than any other frame perfect trick in the game. About 40 to 50 seconds, depending on which one they get of the 2 opportunities. The opportunities are called Creme Tut and Bird Tut, and we will mention again when they're about to actually go for it. But basically it's 1 opportunity for 2 opportunities for what could really determine the race, actually.
It's true. These are 2 very, very, very valuable tricks. It's important to note also that both of them are opting to not kill any enemies, or not kill as many enemies as they can, as it actually lags the game just a little bit. So that's sort of an indication of where these runners are. We saw Pichi opt out of Creme Tut, but now setting up.
Yeah, after seeing his World 5, I had a feeling he'd do that. And he did not get Bird Tut right there when he bounced on the bird. That was him attempting to press Y on the same frame. Had he done that, he would have saved 40-something seconds.
Oh,
which Jacky just did, which puts Jacky in the lead now. As you can see now, they're moving through the level at slightly different speeds. Jacky's gonna do something strange that looks slow here, and just kind of zooming back and forth. The reason he's doing that is to reduce his height a little bit, to get past some B hitboxes. I want to point out that if you don't do that wiggle that looks slow, you will die right there.
Yeah, those 2 Bs there will kill you. So while you're in this state, actually, not anything. Anything. What am I trying to say? Nothing can kill you, or nothing can hurt you unless it's a B or a platform. So that's the only real reason why we try to wiggle there and dodge the Bs.
Ooh, what happened to Pichi? He launched out. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was not really paying attention.
It's easy to do, man. I've seen another unnamed, very good runner make a pretty big mistake in this level during the auto-scroller sequence.
Never seen it before.
Jacky, though, is now riding the Rhino, and the movement here is pretty difficult because everything has a delay to it now, and he just died.
That's not good.
So, Pichi is now in the lead. Never mind. Jacky got midway, so we got probably 10-second difference again, maybe a little less. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 8 seconds.
Well, so let's judge by the blackouts. Let's see.
Either way, should get you guys ready for the next level, which is going to include a new trick. It's recently discovered.
Oh,
Pichi also dying in mincers. Oof.
Yeah, he tried. He went with Rambi for the Yoshi treatment. It looks like he. Oh, that's frustrating.
Wow, dude. Wow. All right. So if Jacky gets this new trick that he's about to go for, we could see a nearly solid guaranteed victory. So rolling off, missing one of the enemies.
He only got 1 idiot. That's too bad.
But there you go, though. Still, you're skipping the entire level, moving at full roll speed.
And that trick is very easy to set up as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better to get this slower version of it than to not get it at all. And well, due to some new strats we found, almost anybody can do that with a couple hours of practice.
Even me. And I did it the first try.
Really? Wow.
First try.
Me like a half hour to get it.
he went for the SJR actually. Pichi went for the super jump roll to try to make up some time, I guess, or maybe he forgot to set it up.
Maybe he just wants to save it for the next race.
So here in Loopy Lights, the game still thinks it's funny to turn the lights off on you. But that's okay, because we have this level memorized and we don't need no stinking lights.
Looks almost like they're playing the same level here. I thought, ooh,
oh,
Pichi dying to a snake. Yeah, I imagine he's feeling the pressure right now.
He's probably not too thrilled. This level is also it's It's very unintuitive, the movement, because you need to cut your rolls a lot shorter than you think you would. Jump out of them sooner. So it's for most donkey veterans, you know, you have your rhythm of rolling and jumping. Jacky clearing those bees with donkey pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm surprised Pichi didn't go for the new tech. That would have possibly averted a death. Kept the race much closer. But Jacky is now 2 levels ahead, as Donkey, albeit, but...
Oh, that was awkward.
Careful
That's...
now. Okay.
So this is the last level of the game, and also the last instance of a jump roll that we'll see.
Yeah, it could actually end up turning out to be like a really good level. Let's see what happens. Alright, did not get it. So, this will be interesting. Both players, will point out, are solo Diddy right now, so any time they take damage will be death. Even opting out of DK barrels, they're just a little bit out of your way. So they're serious about this speed running thingamabobber.
Jacky putting on a clinic.
Pichi not even grabbing midway and loopy. Although I imagine he's just in like berserker mode right now. I would be.
Just get this game over with so that we can focus on the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, Jacky survives the final platforming stage of the game. And the next few bosses are likely to go flawlessly. So, this could be it. Game 1.
So it's looking like we're going to see probably a mid-high 34 for Jacky. My math is correct. Maybe even a mid-34. It's a really good run. Jacky doing the optimal strat of being donkey at the end.
Yeah, there's no accident, actually.
Yeah, so we'll see. He'll have a...
faster in the overworld, I believe. And the animation of him clapping is faster.
And much more entertaining, in my opinion.
Yeah, anybody can throw a hat, dude. It's not hard. I mean, look at K. Rool here, though. See? Even K. Rool can throw a stupid hat.
Yeah.
And Diddy's like, look at me. Donkey's like, oh, he's like, hell yeah. Pumps his arms around.
Claps, gives a thumbs up, like, he's a true sport.
Yeah, dude. And like these crushers, they just walk around like they think they're so cool. I like clumps though. They kind of just let it hang.
Clumps are so great because their stomachs actually make a noise as they walk. At least in the credits, you can hear them bouncing. It's kind of funny.
That's amazing.
So it's important to note, though, that if both of these runners are on K. Rool at the same time, when the other runner dies, that's pretty much the race. And Jacky could very well lose it. Peach is on pace for a high 35. Which I'm most positive that he's not too impressed with. But very entertaining first race. The lead changed quite a few times. Unfortunately, didn't get to see the new trick, but
yeah, I wonder if that is perhaps a strategy of some kind for like intentionally playing the first race. Like you want to just play as consistent as you can. And then, like, see, like, if you lose, all right, now I'll go, like, Super Saiyan and go for the hardest strats I know to save it. Or, who knows, maybe they're going to do that for all the races. But I think I would expect to see a little bit of an intensity rise in the next race, regardless.
Pichi's going crazy here. Going for as crownless as he can.
That's pretty nuts.
Good lord. So Jacky finishes first in this one. 34:19 is a very solid time. Nice run. He'll take the first game. But a reminder that this is a best of 3, so we have at least one more game in store for you. Pichi being a mental case, and my god. That's just scary. I won't even make those crownless hits with 2 Kongs. Yeah. Then again, this all falls back down to the veteran savvy, where you can identify when it is safe to jump on the crocodile's head.
That could be what's happening right now, but it could also be it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I died in Mincers.
Well,
I feel like it is after Mincers, that level with Ramby, I think is when things kind of went downhill here.
Pichi just trying to give us a good show, so.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show for sure. Even the last hit was pretty darn crownless.
He'll finish with a 35-40 for 2nd place. Nice run for him.
GG. Alright, so we have a little break here, and there is going to be another race, possibly 2 races. IWannaBeYourJacky. Their next race may be very soon, or it may not be for another 5-10 minutes. We shall see. Different runners have different preferences as far as how quickly they want to keep going. But again, just to give you guys some context as to what's going on right now, these guys are currently in the winner's bracket of this tournament, getting pretty close to the end of the entire thing. So whoever wins this one, let me see how many more games they would have to win. Okay, so whoever wins this next match has at most only 2 other matches. Well, actually, possibly 3. So they would go on to face Stu, who is already basically going to be in the winner's final. And then whoever wins this match between Pichi and Jackie will be against Stu in the winner's final, which then goes on to face whoever comes back from the loser's bracket in probably several weeks from now.
Hopefully not several. Maybe just a few. Yeah, we do have a reputation for drawing things out. So we're still waiting on the bronze league, the bronze match from last tournament.
Okay, so it sounds like Pichi had not put much time into the new trick in Misty, which may have impacted the race significantly.
And both just trying to take a breath, I guess, and set things up again.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's interesting that this trick was found right in the middle of this tournament, so it had implications already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Already
we'll
seeing.
Continue to. All right, I see a reset here, so the next race may be coming soon.
Resetting console was a very good idea. If you reset your console, if you don't reset your console, I should say, and you just continue from a new file, your animal buddy tokens are going to carry over, and it becomes something else you need to pay attention to, and another risk involved. And you don't want to go into these bonuses when you're on an all stages run, or any run in any donkey category, to be honest. It takes a long time.
Yeah. When you finish, it doesn't take you anywhere near where you collected the 3rd token. It takes you back to the beginning, usually.
Yep. You just roll out of the cave that you came in out of, or you just,
That's the worst part, actually, I think. Like, the bonus game is one thing, but, like, you get out of the bonus, and then you're, like, further back. It's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't have speed runs in mind when they need this.
They didn't expect it to be exploited so much.
They probably thought they were doing us a big favor. It's like, hey, we'll let you keep your animal tokens, dude. You're gonna have extra lives when you replay our game right now. You get so many frog tokens.
And we saw the beginnings of New Game Plus all the way back in 1994. OS Frog indeed. So we saw a reset out of Jackie here, so it looks like they're about to start the new channel, I assume, or maybe a dot rematch. I believe a rematch can only happen though if a SRL admin records the race.
Ah, yes.
Not entirely sure, so. I'm not on IRC right now, so I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not looking either. In fact, I will be right back.
Okay. I'm assuming they don't need an adult, as far as I know, to start a new race. They can probably just roll out a new one. It's interesting to note, though, when you're on this screen that Pichi's on right now, the one-player screen, where our runs start timing, you need to keep moving the cursor, or else the game is just going to kick you back out to the title. Jackie is. And when you're waiting for everybody to start a race, that can get very annoying. As it just happened to Pichi. So it's funny when you type .ready, and then you just kind of sit there waiting for everybody else to ready up. You need to keep mashing your control pad. Looks like Jackie might just be getting a drink or something. Drinking a fine wine. Alright, looks like they're starting to get ready.
Alright, alright.
Maybe. Don't know yet. I think they're waiting for an adult to start a new race, I'm not sure. It's an issue that most of the races were having during this tournament. We're wondering if they should wait for SRL or SG admin to approve the next race or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I learned in the last race that you don't need an SG admin to do that. You can just start a new race. Post your results in #matchresults in the All Stages 2018 Discord.
Amazing.
I know. What a time to be alive in current year. I'm wondering if Jackie's just taking this time because of the nerves. Something is. It's quite a feeling to have an accomplished runner like Pichi up the ropes like this. You know.
There are definitely two distinct personality types that I've seen for racing. Some people are very, very enthusiastic about everything, and you're like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go. And then the other type are like, they're gonna like study the race, and they're gonna like think about it real hard and kind of like get in the zone for it.
Exactly.
And I believe, yeah, one of them must be the latter. I tend to be more of the former.
If we're doing back-to-back races, yeah, I'm definitely more of a former. I just want to get the last race out of my head as soon as possible because chances are it was a bad run.
Yep.
I'd rather just start fresh. So, Pichi back on that one-player screen. Jackie just turning his crank. His there. Just receiving this off the hot wire. Jackie has an injury to his hand, and that's why he needs to take breaks sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's completely understandable. Definitely don't mind. Oh, I think he's fine. He's just he just needs a few minutes, I guess, to rest his hand.
Yeah, I figure it's most likely an overuse injury, a common thing in today's day and age.
Rolling too deep.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let it rest or massage it.
And people don't think how much goes into such intense gameplay like this. You know, your tendons really take a lot of damage.
Yeah, because you feel like you're the monkey instead of the person pressing the controls.
Exactly.
That's why I think they're so addictive.
I've gotten a couple hand injuries, but nothing too serious. Just some cramping, a little bit of pain here and there, especially when you're working on different grips in the controller.
Yeah, I'm definitely permanently screwed from this one grind session I did at Glimmers about 6 months ago. Ever since then, I never fully recovered.
Has it been 6 months already since the 100 times?
Yeah, at least, dude. I think it was like March, and yeah, March when I was grinding that real hard.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was like 5 hours straight of using a weird claw grip, and like at the same time with this awkward grip, like mashing as fast as I can with the thumb of that hand. And it's just way more pressure at the wrong angles that you don't want to really go through.
Yeah, wrist problems with mouse games too are pretty common. I get those a lot. Not so much because of the like the intensity of it, but if I'm just sort of resting my hand in the mouse in something low action, like maybe Hearthstone or something, I definitely get cramps and tingling in my hands. It's a dangerous life that we live, us professional video gamers. Some very big speedrunning names have had to call it quits.
Very true. Yeah.
Because of their injuries. Siglemic being the first one that comes to mind. Simply also.
Certainly, yeah. In the esports area, especially Auto.
Yeah. Silent Wolf, the Melee player, Gil is already starting to get it, and he's barely 20, barely 19, barely 18.
Point out that Silent Wolf, the Smash Brothers competitive player, is actually one of the best and most like old boy players of this particular speedrun, which is something a lot of people don't know.
That's true, actually. Silent Wolf did have the world record a long time ago.
Yeah, I think he started in like 2009 or something crazy way back like that. And like whenever we find some new tricks, he might just like pick it up and play it for like a week and like get a PB that's like right up there in current. Anyway, looks like this race is starting with a blat split in the middle of the game feed. Seems like a great idea.
I love it. I love it. Every time the damage star happens, I see blat. It's like the game is going blat every time he rolls through an enemy. That's a good touch. Very good touch.
Oh, looks like we're pretty much frame for frame here in race 2.
Yeah, there needs to be a little bit of a sync again. Just a little bit. Yeah, just like a 1 second. They're 1 second off each other, but I think that's just timers. There it is. Now they're synced. So yeah, we weren't able to mention when the other bonus warp was, but it happened in Elevator Antics. You take the ropes just above to where the second crawl space gauntlet is.
These runs look so similar.
If you're just joining in, this is game 2 of a best of 3 between Pichi and IWannaBeYourJacky. Pichi fighting for his winner's bracket life right now.
Yeah, advantage went to Jackie. Due to the kind of events we've just come to expect from any DKC 1 race.
Oh,
there's another
no.
not that unexpected event. There's a classic right there.
You hate to see that happen. You just get kicked in the face.
That's about 20 seconds, I want to say.
Oh, probably more. He's way back at the beginning. He was right at the end.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it looks though, just because it's a level or World 1 level.
Yeah,
the
this
same kind of thing in Blackout or ODA would definitely cost more if you didn't get midway. But it's not good, that's for sure.
Right.
At least half a fish ahead here.
Half a fish. The interesting thing about these water levels, actually, compared to the other two games, is that you don't need to hold the Y button. Your swimming speed is always going to be the same in this game. The other two, you need to hold the Y button.
Yeah, it frees you up to put a little more effort into mashing B to go up. Exactly. Not on the fish, at least, and that is that does actually make a difference. How fast you mash, that is.
Pichi finding his way through the treetops there. Jacky ascending. So where Pichi just was, that's what I was talking about, where you don't want... You really don't want to mess up there. Because if you were to accidentally kill that Kremlin by rolling through him, you're pretty screwed. And you got to go through the rest of the level, or you're going to have to kill yourself and start over. Yes, you should leave them. This is amazing.
Yeah, I already, started just seeing through it. I don't notice it anymore. I don't think the same can be said for anybody, so I think if anybody doesn't want to see it, they voice that opinion, that should kind of override it. But I'm cool with it. Doing some crazy extended rolls. One of my favorite levels here, Winky's Walkway. You get to just kind of keep rolling through enemies for most of it.
It is an absolute banger. Lots of really satisfying extendos. The movement is just overall very satisfying in that level. So Jacky finishing with a 418. He's definitely not happy about that. And again, you want to make sure that you make to skip the minecart carnage, because if you were to accidentally land into it, the first pit or the first opportunity you have to kill yourself is very, very far into the level compared to the beginning.
Yeah, bouncy can be a disaster. When are we getting a super jump roll in bouncy?
That's a good question. When are we getting anything in bouncy that can make the level shorter and easier?
I don't think there's a rope in that level.
Is there a rope? No, I don't think there's a rope. Unfortunate.
There it is.
Wait, is there a rope?
No, I'm just something in chat. And I knew it was coming.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
So, yeah, and Pichi's about to go for a super jump here. Get a warp barrel. This developer intended just slightly off screen, but the way he's going to get to that barrel is not dev intended, taking damage on purpose. Storing another sort of damage boost off this guy. When you bounce on hold B, you go high.
It's, I believe it's also a Donkey exclusive warp, isn't it? Or can Diddy get to it too? Through Tire Over Gap. I thought I heard somewhere it was Donkey exclusive. Anyway, Pichi now into the bird fight. This is one of the only sources of RNG in the game, actually, is whether or not the bird's going to give you a high spawn or a low spawn. Pichi finishing with a 635, that's really good. It's a pretty good 2 exit time. And chat has confirmed that yes, it is Donkey exclusive. Thank you, chat.
So World 3 again, the first 2 levels are going to be really quick with developer intended warps. For this one you have to be Donkey. But the rest of World 3 after that is some pretty long levels that do require a good bit of skill.
Especially Tempest, Clam City, B fight. Jackie finishing with a 7-10. Sounds like he had a pretty good World 2, actually, judging from his World 1 and World 2 splits.
Pichi now going again into a level where last time he played it safe. This time I don't think he will. I think he's going to go for a frame perfect trick that can save 20 seconds here. Close to.
Well, he's keeping the Krems alive. Yeah, he's just going for the super jump. I don't blame him.
I don't understand that decision. This is the guy who says to wiggle between the B's and Kremta.
Again, you are also in a voice call with a guy who did front ropes before I learned any PCP strats.
Yeah, we need more ropes in this game.
This level, just less pits, more ropes.
So in case we didn't explain, the new tech that was discovered last week. Oh, Jackie just got a super jump roll, so that's a frame perfect trick. That's gonna catch him up.
Oh, absolutely.
Closer to Pichi than it would seem based on their entrance time to the level.
Yeah, you can see the speed difference between getting a super jump roll and just the super jump. Where your super jump, I believe, is just running speed, while this is... The super jump roll is dependent on how many enemies you roll through in the running state.
Note the gaps that Pichi rolls across right here. See the size of that roll?
That was a deep roll.
Going for the... Yeah, you can see Pichi's basically doing everything that's on the wiki for the most part.
Oh. Unfortunately messes up the double extendo.
I believe he came up with like the basis for a ton of the wiki stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It was, from what I understand, it was originally just a DKC2 wiki. Until,
yeah, it seems like it. Yeah.
Until Pichi, back then New Age Retro Hippie, and Morks got their hands on it and expanded it to both, all 3 games.
Oh, that's great, man.
It is great. So here's Pichi going into the map warp now.
All right.
First try will definitely help.
That level. Using a sort of a wrong warp thing that makes the game spit you out of a bonus exit in that level. We just happen to go do that warp, which is done in World 1 now, because we want to, I assume, connect all the lines between levels for all stages. That, unfortunately, from Jackie's end, definitely undid the fact that they got the frame perfect trick in Force Frenzy.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it would have been faster at that point to just play through the level normally. As opposed to going all the way back and getting a third try map warp.
I would think map warp is still faster.
Well, map warp does spit you out to the last, like, quarter of Orangutan Gang. So they're about a full fish behind each other.
Notice his first hit against the B. That barrel will only collide with the B when you jump up with Diddy like that. The first one hit, at least when the B is max height, if you release the barrel throw at the peak of your height, what that's going to do is he's going to lift up his arms as part of the throwing animation for just a split second. If you time that right, that does hit the hitbox of the B, which is really cool.
It's ironic that the cue that runners get told to when they're learning that strat is to, instead of just press Y, just let go of Y.
So yeah, we have 2 very unfortunate mistakes from Jackie so far, I believe. There's your death at the end of Reptile, and well, the death in Orangutan Gang just now. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's it. It looks like his roll died, actually, in thinking back, his role kind of died when he got a face full of Mankey.
Really?
I think he just he started his role a little too early, or he jumped out of his role earlier than he should have. All I know is that he was rolling and then he wasn't. And he was dead.
This is interesting, right? We're far from the end here. Just a little bit over a half a level ahead on Pichi's side.
Yeah.
But this is starting to indicate that we may very well see a 3-round tournament race here.
Absolutely. More donkey, the better.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh.
Oh, Jackie.
Wow.
That's that's awkward. I wonder if that's his injury acting up, and maybe he's just kind of feeling the pressure now. Who knows?
Hopefully they were going for Joe roll.
Yeah, it seems like he was.
Ooh, sorry.
Pichi finishing up in slip slide while Jackie just passed halfway. And, snow barrel blast, going for 2 birds. Both on snow levels, but they're in different snow levels.
Yeah, one of them has more birds in it. So clearly Jackie's in the better one.
At least one more bird. So yeah, it's like I said earlier, you really want to make sure that you keep your bird that you're riding alive. Otherwise, this level gets incredibly hard and long. There are cues to know when you should stop flapping and when you should start flapping and stuff, so...
Yeah, fortunately as a bird, you don't actually have to be flapping constantly to sort of float along. Even if you're not pressing B, you'll glide down slower than you normally would fall. It's still pretty fast, but like using that, you can really guide yourself pretty safely. You'll never fall like really fast.
Pichi,
Once you start flapping, that is. Like, if you just jump and never flap at all.
Well then, yeah, you're going for a sink.
Yeah,
But
it's
if
like
you jump,
enter a floaty state once you press B in the air, and you're going to stay that way. And you can change how quickly you descend by whether or not you continue mashing B.
So Pichi and Croctopus chase round 2.
Which has an interesting purple glow from time to time. Perhaps due to the blats.
I think that's his capture card. We've been seeing it every so often. Where the side of his screen will just kind of turn into funny colors.
I like it.
I do too.
Consoles that do weird things like that and just give you character.
Maybe he's playing on the Hartrid cartridge. On Tupac's cartridge.
Right?
He doesn't give you a mixtape in DKC 2, he gives you this cartridge.
Oof.
Which makes the optimal order to learn the games 2, 1, and 3. 3 should be last.
Agreed. Question mark, question mark, question mark?
Yep. That's a good question, Pichi. It's a very good question. Also, oh my god! Oh my god! So Jackie's in the lead now. I don't know what Pichi's doing, but he's kind of contemplating life.
Wow,
Wondering how it got to this point. So Jackie's in the lead now.
Yeah, half Croc. So that's about a minute.
Yeah.
Minute lead on Jackie's end. It's not over. But the impact on morale may hit harder than the actual time loss there. We shall see.
Yeah, I don't know if either of them are watching each other.
Well, Pichi's chatting in the stream, so he's gotta know what's going on.
He's multitasking. He knows what's up. Brain farted, yeah.
Yeah, imagine if Jackie didn't have those 2 deaths.
Pichi, okay. So both of the Kongs actually have the same swimming speed. So it doesn't really matter which Kong you are in the water levels. I think it may be a myth, but isn't... No, that's definitely a myth. Donkey's hitbox is the same size as Diddy's, I believe.
Yeah, but still visually it can seem bigger from certain angles. Just like the box doesn't match, the pixel art perfectly.
The Jackie and Torchlight now.
The thing is, Jackie may still be rattled from the 2 unexpected deaths, which cost a lot of time in this run.
Exactly, and he's really playing with fire.
Possibly not knowing where Pichi is, that could continue to cause more deaths.
I think if I'm Jackie, I'm just playing the game as best as I can.
Alright, will we see a super jump roll? No.
Funny. If I were in his position, I would definitely at least go for it.
Yeah, especially if I knew where Pichi was.
Pichi rolling into Torchlight. I feel like if Pichi knows what's going on, he'll also be going for a super jump roll. Whoa, that was awkward.
Yeah, did the tire roll really far left on that tire. Alright, so finishing up World 4 pretty well on Jackie's end.
Surprised he got up to the corner. There, I'm really surprised he got up to the corner.
Oh yeah, the 4-1 death as well.
Here's Pichi going for the super jump roll. Got to make up time however he can.
You may see a big time save here. Good setup. And just a regular jump roll, which you want to get out of because your normal movement through the level, while riskier, is slower than super jumping over it.
Yeah. Jackie setting up for the old drum alley super jump roll. Doesn't like dots apparently.
Yeah, most people don't. I don't think they ever had the ice cream, like Dippin' Dots. Have you ever had that?
No, we don't have that up here in Canada.
It's only amusement parks. Yeah, it's so good.
But what's the deal with that? Is it just like tiny little beads of ice cream, or?
Yeah, it's like little tiny like bead things, but they taste so good. They like explode with ice cream flavor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, banana flavor would be cool. Speaking of bananas, looks like Pichi just won himself billions of bananas.
He's got to defeat this beaver first. All right, now the bananas are his, or at least that big one that fell down is his.
Yeah. And give it back to the beavers. They deserve it.
Beavers don't eat bananas though; they eat wood. That's how that works, I'm pretty sure.
That's foolish. Why would... That's a dumb evolution. Pichi getting the super jump roll, so that saved, since he got only one, what do we call those guys now?
Idiots.
Idiots? Yeah.
Yeah, he only rolled through 2 idiots, unfortunately.
Okay, so that's probably going to save 15 seconds or something?
Oh, it's still much faster than...
Oh, for sure. It helps.
Oh, no!
Excuse me?
He let go too early, it seems.
Oof.
I guess he thought he got more idiots than he did, so he could just use the same visual cue. So there's a visual cue that we use to know when to let go of the B button. You can start a dissension and end right at the end of the level, but unfortunate for Pichi. Misjudged, I guess. That's what I'm assuming.
Okay. Is this salvageable? I am starting to fear that it is not possibly salvageable.
It's only World 5. World 6 is still a thing.
It's true. It's gonna take a miracle at this point.
Pichi hits full auto. Jackie doesn't get anything.
It won't be enough, man. Jackie's gonna have to still die on top of that a couple times. But we shall see.
Oh no!
My.
Yeah, now it's getting pretty
It's
insurmountable.
the morale thing I was talking about. It's very unfortunate.
The thing about deaths in donkey games is, oh my god. The thing about deaths in donkey games is that they come in waves. So it's one death, it's two deaths, and then there's an infinite number of deaths. So
Yeah, like it takes a really strong mind to stay neutral and just keep trusting your developed muscle memory instead of starting to think about it. Because you make a mistake, and sometimes you're like, "Oh, I need to think about this. What I do wrong?" And then you don't trust you like feel natural to you at this point, and things get out of control.
fortunate for Pichi's that's really unfortunate. And he was in such a good position. Jackie rolling through the air. Looks like he might have pressed the Y button a little too early. He didn't get the jump roll. And it's on this. Oh no!
Wow.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Why this is one of the more dangerous jump rolls in the game. Because if you're late on the jump roll, you're dead.
Doesn't save very much time.
Yeah, like rolling through the air will save you about 4 seconds if your rolling is optimal. But getting that jump roll is an extra, I believe, 3 or 4 seconds on top of that.
That's it. Yeah, it's not very much.
Alright, Pichi finishing up, going into elevator antics. About 2.5 levels behind now. It could still be surmountable if he hits full lotto, so it's not over just yet.
About a minute, I believe.
The elevator's a long level. So is
Yeah.
Poison Pond. So we're quite far behind. This one's no walk in the park either. So there's the other bonus warp I was telling you about on Pichi's screen. Well, the thing about getting Creme Tut is that it's not over if you just hit the frame like Bird Tut and you wiggle a few times. This is a lot more dangerous, Creme Tut, because the wiggle for that trick is a lot tighter than Bird Tut.
Absolutely.
A lot tighter. So getting the frame and not either landing on the platform again or wiggling out of it is only half the battle. Pichi making short work of elevator antics. Poison Pond. Jackie rolling through the blackout basement.
Black and blackout.
Really
so you might not really be able to see on the stream, but what you can do is you can turn up your TV's brightness a little bit, and all that yellow tape you see in the dark will actually be clearly visible. So that's what a lot of people use to know where they are, even when the lights are off in this level. So even though we see complete darkness, Jackie might not.
Yeah, I could never do that. I could never turn my TV up because it just looks too washed out when I play the other levels, and it's very distracting. So
yeah, can be.
Just Pichi rolling through the air.
Maybe.
A little bit might help. Jackie slap sliding all over the place.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if they know the status of Pichi's run here.
So Jackie coming into World 6 now. Frame World, Lotto World, Hell, if you will.
Yes, the cave mine world. Fitting place for just before the final boss of a video game.
Jackie's
Almost looks like
his
they're in the same level. That couldn't be further from the truth.
They're almost 2.5 now behind, 2.5 levels. Pichi needs to play Bob, the boss, and Tut now. This Jackie hits a frame.
Alright, going for Creme Tut. Went for it at least. Alright, so that was the more difficult attempt at a jump roll, and here comes another.
Nails it.
2 runs in a row. Wow.
I think that's pretty much the nail in Pichi's coffin.
Pichi going for some cool strats though in Blackout. Pichi's main mistake that put him in this position was he died in Proctopus Chase most of the way through it.
Yeah, that was the that was the big time loss. That's what put Jackie in the lead initially.
Now they're just a boss and a level apart, but it's actually a huge gap because it's a long boss and a long level.
Yeah, if I'm Pichi, I'm definitely going for Creme Tut.
Yeah.
At least going for it, but maybe being a little bit safe about it.
You can't be safe about it or you won't get it.
It's true. Jackie. So the Rhino is it's very hard to control because there's native input delay. And he's just slow. And he likes to use his horn whenever he wants.
Dude, do you think Blat Split cursed the run?
No, that's not possible.
It could, dude. Not F.
No.
Mayweather, I believe, is a fan of Blat Split.
This goes far long before not F. Mayweather's time.
Jackie's about to come up here and attempt again the new tech found in the past week. It makes it much easier to get a really fast level here, as you can see.
Oh, 3 idiots. 4
saints.
idiots. 4 idiots. Wow.
Yeah, you got all the idiots there.
That's great.
So it's good to release B right about now.
Yeah, it's good to note also that you don't your speed caps after 4 idiots.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you roll through 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 idiots. After 4, you're not going any faster.
As Diddy, even 3 is a very high percentage of the speed anyway. That 4 is.
Is Pichi attempting Bird's Hut?
Alright, you got that. So that's gotta feel good at least. Wow. 3 out of 4 attempts and races we've seen in this tournament match here have had Bird Tut in it. That's pretty cool. Except the fact that it has to do with birds, of course. Pichi stream having a little bit of lag here.
He's getting under the bees just fine, though. That's gotta feel good for Pichi. That's probably instrumental in bringing his confidence back.
So since at least one person would be interested to hear, this new tech, what it is with super jump rolls is you basically do a regular super jump off an enemy, but when you're near a rope, just a straight vertical rope. And if you do a normal super jump with no like frame perfect input into a rope and you grab that rope, you can kind of slide downward off of that rope and land, and you'll be in a weird state where all you have to do is begin rolling off a ledge while holding B, and you'll initiate the super jump roll state, which is the really fast rolling in the air and rising technique. And normally that's frame perfect, but with this setup it is no longer frame perfect. You just have to steer good.
Yeah, Jackie missed perils there, but so he's gonna have to actually play the rest of the level, which is no picnic. But he's making it look easy. A lot of really cool extendos you can do. Peach is gonna be going for the actual SJR.
Yeah, he just
and he
got
gets it. 2, 3 idiots.
So that's how we used to have to do this trick, super jump roll. Pichi did a frame perfect input in order to get the same effect that Jackie got without one. Although
double frame
Pichi's
perfect.
is a couple seconds faster, the difficulty of it is enormous compared to the other one.
The version that Pichi did actually was, I believe, double frame perfect, because he got a jump roll and then he had to get another one out of it. Someone could correct me on that. Jacky taking damage, setting up for the optimal gear rule ending. Alright, going in for a high 34 again, which is very good for a tournament time. It is just one frame. Thank you, Lumo. Glad that it's not double frame perfect. There is another super jump roll you can do on this level. Pichi just passed by it. It's just pretty unintuitive, and it only saves 2 seconds, I believe. 2 seconds? 3 or 4? I don't know.
For
Jacky also.
K. Rool's donkey?
No, the super jump roll in P.
Oh, yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe. That's, with all the spaghetti he spilled in the early game, and he's still bringing it back to a 34, that's, you know, that's incredibly impressive.
But also testament to, or testimony to the new trick that we found, pretty much guaranteeing that top runners are going to get the Misty trick every single time. Which, normally you kind of felt like you were lucky or like did a really clutch thing if you got that. Now it's more or less guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which takes away a bit of the variability in the end game. Pichi actually getting a full lotto here. Bird Tut, Misty jump roll, SJR, and Peril's jump roll here.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So he was able to bring it back a little bit. He brought the lead down, but unfortunately I don't think it was enough unless Jacky is solo Diddy.
Yeah, it can,
you know,
could mean something.
But I don't think there's enough time.
Totally
for,
unafraid, just jumping as K. Rool is about to have his hitbox right where he's jumping.
Yeah.
Alright, will he be able to count to 3? There's a lot of thinking involved here. Alright. And we are good.
You did it.
GG, Jacky.
Nice run from Jacky.
Pichi now returning to the overworld. Apparently to enter tanked up trouble again. Is he getting Creme Tut? I hope he's Creme Tut will save the run, dude.
He will. He's gonna get Creme Tut and then get a 30. It's gonna take 5 minutes off his splits. He's paused the game. What we're gonna see here.
GG, I assume he doesn't feel like finishing the match.
Yeah, he might have accidentally re-entered. I don't know if the game the game actually pushes you towards oh no, he's showing off jumping off the edge.
Yeah, he saw that the match was over, and I think he just wanted to stop. GG regardless.
Very GG. Regardless, both runs were very good. So we're gonna wait in here and see if they want to come in for some commentary or some interviews. Commentary. We're the commentators. They're not gonna commentate. We can commentate the interview, I guess, if they'll.
Yeah, after they
if
leave,
like
don't tell them, but we're gonna rip apart everything they say.
Okay. So if you're just joining us, I'm sorry you missed that, but Jacky was able to pull off a comeback in the second race of having issues in Reptile Rumble and other levels, putting Pichi ahead almost 2.5 full minutes. He was able to come back due to some simple mind screw-ups from Pichi, unfortunately. Was able to give Jacky the opportunities he needed to come back. Getting a 34-48 after the run that he had is incredibly impressive, in my opinion.
Nope, suppose we won't be having an interview. Take a look at the bracket here. So going forward, it looks like Pichi will be playing Stu for actually the winner finals. Stu and
actually,
Pichi.
it's Jackie playing Stu. Pichi's going to losers.
Oh, right. Jackie won. Okay, so Pichi will be going to face whoever wins between Mike Canis and Loopy Nerd and Nay or DNA, depending on who wins that race. So, got a lot of exciting races coming up soon.
Yeah, we are in the best time to be in tournament right now. Some excellent players left over, and some really entertaining races. I don't believe we have any new races scheduled just yet. So for now, this is just it until the runners are able to schedule their stuff. Checking the schedule right now, and no, it doesn't look like there's nothing scheduled. So we're gonna have to wait on them to get their stuff together. But in the winner's side now, we have Stu versus Jackie, as my my lovely assistant Kane has pointed out. In the losers, in round 3, we have the winner of KBZ and Supreme. I believe KBZ has dropped out. The brackets have not been updated yet. But so it's going to be Supreme versus Blueberry, and the winner of DNA and Nay versus Mike Canis. So very entertaining races coming up here, folks.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what ends up happening in the next few races. This is what it all comes down to.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I don't think we're going to get any interviews here today. So I think with that, we're just going to sign off. Unless there's something you'd like to add.
No, I'm good. Good. Very good race, guys. I will be looking forward to seeing the next one.
Absolutely. Very entertaining races. I was very happy to be able to commentate them, especially with Canis here. You just kind of offered at the last minute, which is really helpful. So thank you for that. Good job commentary on you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Speed Gaming.
Yeah, Speed Gaming and everybody there too. A nice run. Thank you, chat, for watching and your questions. If you have any questions, feel free to check out the wiki. I'm going to post that link in chat right now. It has comprehensive videos and explanations and breakdowns of optimal strats and safe strats for all the levels in all 3 games in the Super Nintendo trilogy. Plus a link to the Discord if you're interested in running the game and you have some questions for us. Please feel free to come in and ask side questions. Tell us what you think about Broccoli and Dataface and Winky, and then we'll see where we can go from there.
Sounds good.
So thank you everybody for watching, and we're rolling out.
Rolling out.